Good morning, Dennis.
Dennis? Hey, Branson, how are you?
I'm good.
All right.
Got some good news for you, sir.
What's that?
I got some good news for you.
What's that?
I just got my first endorsement deal with a CBD company, a national CBD company, and I'm gonna be face of their new product.
Wow, fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
What's the new product?
It's called a Blue Dream. It's a sativa, a hybrid of sativa CBD that they came out with. Um, and they're coming out with it in flowers and vapes, candies, a lot of different things, and um, they are going to be using. Let me see. Can you share a picture in the screen? I think so.
Let me make you co-host and then you can. Hold on. Okay, you should be able to now.
Hold on one second. Uh, Too many screens here.
You need an air traffic controller, Branson.
I do. I've got 4 or 5 screens, and I'm like,
I can barely keep track of one.
yeah, it gets confusing.
Yeah. Need to
Here.
have like big numbers like 1, 2, 3, so you can tell them apart.
Ironically, my screens do that, but it gets so confusing. Here we
What's
go.
the name of the CPD company?
It's called Nature's Way, the Mellow Store.
Huh.
They're out of Clearwater, Florida.
Huh.
Um, and basically, we've been waiting on North Carolina to do what they're going to do. They just sent me this graphic over last night.
Okay. I see it.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's going to be on all their packaging, and I get residual income from them using my likeness on the packaging. So,
Fantastic. Fantastic.
okay, so share. Okay, I'm out of
Thank
there.
you very much.
Yes, sir. Oh, thank you for all the tips and things that you gave me to help me put me in that position.
Hey, man, let me give you my address for the check.
We'll do that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, there's Grant. Hey, Grant, how are you, buddy?
Doing good, Dennis. How are you?
All right.
Oh, Lordy.
So I just had somebody show up on the screen with my name, but it wasn't me, and now they're gone. That was weird.
Yeah, that was me. I was
Oh,
working on uploading the YouTube videos and then forgot to sign out of your account back into mine.
I got you. I got you. I was like, man, I look a lot better than I used to. I'll be right back. I don't know what's out in the environment, but I am just sneezing and I don't know what. It must be something out there. Always something on a farm. All right. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in today. Today is a change from the original. We're going to look at um, a relatively short video of literally step by step how to get your website where people buy from it. And it's really one of the best I've seen of this sort of thing. And I don't know if we talked about it in the past, but there's a book called Brand Story that a lot of marketing people talk about. And this is the author of that book. I think his name is Miller. So I think he knows what he's doing, and I think you hopefully everyone will enjoy it. So it's not too long. Let me share my screen. And Hopefully this will work. Okay. All right, hopefully everyone can see that okay. Hopefully it's full screen or close to it.
Good.
Okay, here we go.
Bit over 5 minutes, but I'm really going to help you clarify your message and grow your company. Listen, most companies are wasting an enormous amount of money on marketing, and I mean an enormous amount of money. I mean, when I look at billboards as I drive down the highway, I think almost all of them are a waste of money. When I go to a company's website, they're not communicating the right things in order to get customers to engage, and I think it's a waste of money. Here's a reality. Creative agencies will take your money and use it to confuse your customers. There's a reason for that. They're not bad people. They don't intend to do that. But you know how it goes. You hire a creative agency. They ask you a bunch of questions about your company. They ask you about your clients. They ask you about your products. And then they create a beautiful website. And I mean, it's gorgeous. You're happy to pay the $5,000 for it because you just think it's so beautiful. You go home and you refresh it a bunch of times. But there's one thing that doesn't happen. Sales don't increase. And you know what I'm talking about. You've felt it. And it's frustrating. You just think, well, that's the way it is. It doesn't have to be that way. Here's the problem. These creative agencies have studied Photoshop and design and aesthetics, and they know what they're doing. They're amazing at it. But they've never studied the words you use to sell something. And people buy products after they read words that make them want to buy products. Think about the last thing you bought on Amazon. You read a little description, you read a couple Amazon reviews, and you bought it. What made you want to buy it? The design? It's not actually a very well-designed site, or at least it's not beautiful. It's the words. I want to focus in the 5-minute marketing makeover on the words you are using to describe your products. StoryBrand exists because marketing is a ripoff. We are here to save you money and to make you a lot of money. If you pay attention to these 3 short videos, I'm going to help you clarify your message. That's the key. We want to dial it in and get it really clear. I'm going to teach you how the brain works in such a way you will be speaking to your customers and they will engage. We've got to clarify your message. Second, we're going to focus on a major piece of marketing collateral that most companies really have to get right, and that's their website. We want to create websites that get a result. And finally, we just want to grow your business. If you clarify your message so that customers listen, your business will grow. And we're going to do it all with 3 short videos. Well, this is video 1, and it asks the question, how can you make more sales every day? And the way you can make more sales every day is easy. You can communicate more simply and clearly. People are turned off by confusion. If you confuse your customers, you will lose. You want to communicate in very simple language in such a way that they can understand you. And there's a reason. It has to do with the 2 things the human brain is always trying to do. And that is survive and thrive, and also conserve calories. Your brain is tasked with keeping you alive. That's its dominant job. Thank goodness. If it didn't do that, we'd all be dead, right? We have to scan our environment all the time looking for ways to survive and thrive. Now, in a first world economy, we've probably got food and shelter, and thank goodness we've got all that stuff down. And so we move on to more evolved ways of surviving and thriving. That is social relationships, gaining status, organizing my time, being more efficient, associating with a tribe. These are all survival mechanisms, and it's the dominant function of the brain. What that means is you've got to communicate something about your product that helps people survive, or they won't be interested. Remember, that's the dominant thing they're looking for. How can you help me survive and thrive? So when you go talking about how your grandfather started the company, or you're trying to increase your great places to work metric and all these things that you're so excited about, they're scanning that information wondering, is this going to help me? When they go to your website, they can read all about you all day. They're not going to be interested because the fact that your company is 100 years old doesn't help them survive and thrive. We've got to communicate to them about how they will survive and thrive and how we can help them do that. Now, the second thing the brain is doing is also very important, and it's trying to conserve calories. Your brain burns about 600 calories a day. And if you have to study or take the bar exam or attend a class, it's going to burn 800 calories a day or 1,000 calories a day. You're going to be exhausted at the end of the day. Your brain is always burning calories. Now imagine if you didn't have this mechanism in your brain that said, hey, we're burning too many calories on random information here. We need to stop thinking about this and start thinking about something that will help us survive and thrive. If you didn't do that, your life would be meaningless. In fact, you'd walk into a Starbucks and pick up a pound of coffee, and you'd look at that packaging and you'd say, oh, I wonder if this was sealed with glue or if this was stitched, or how did they package this together? Where did they come from? How did they print on this, what feels like metal, but it's actually also paper? Your brain would just go into information that you don't need. That's not what happens. Your brain actually says, I don't need that. I need to get some coffee and get to work so that I can pay my mortgage, right? The brain has this mechanism that shuts down in order to conserve calories. What does that have to do with us? It means if somebody goes to your website and you don't communicate very simply and very clearly about things that will help them survive and thrive, you're going to lose them. They're going to turn off and probably go to your competitor. So whenever you're talking to a customer, I want you to picture their brain's running on a treadmill, because it really is running on a treadmill. That's what their brain is doing. So how long do you think you can really confuse them before they're going to go, you know what, I think I'm going to turn this treadmill off? And worse, if you're at a cocktail party, you're competing with the bacon-wrapped dates that are being passed around behind them, right? So they're listening to your elevator pitch, and you're talking about how your grandfather started the company and how you want to increase your great places to work metric and how, all this stuff that has nothing to do with their survival. Or you're using a bunch of inside language that is confusing to them, and then those bacon-wrapped dates start getting passed around behind you. I think you're toast, because those bacon-wrapped dates have everything to do with your customer survival, and all the stuff you're saying doesn't. We want to be really careful to communicate very simply and very clearly. Therefore, we really must only communicate about something that helps people survive and thrive. And we must do so in such simple language, nobody has to burn any calories to understand us. I want you to think about your website right now. Are you communicating about things that help your customers survive and thrive? Or are you making a huge mistake and only talking about yourself and your company? They're not interested in your story. They're interested in their own. We have to tell them how we can help them survive and thrive, and do so without using inside or confusing language. All right, in our next video, we're going to focus down on your website. We're actually going to make it a lot stronger. I'm going to share 5 things that your website should include. 5 things. You just make these 5 edits or changes to your website, and you're going to get a much greater response. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome to video 2 of the 5-minute marketing makeover. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 things your website should include. And the very first thing we all have to know about our website is it has to pass the grunt test. And what do I mean by the grunt test? I mean this. I mean, if I took a laptop and opened it up to your website, and I put it in the lap of a caveman sitting in a cave, I mean, just a primitive caveman can hardly use language, can this caveman answer 3 questions? And those questions are, what do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? What do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? Those are the questions that the human brain is asking as soon as it goes to your website. So think about just the header on your website, that part that pops up above the fold whenever you open up your laptop. Does it answer those 3 questions? If it doesn't, I think you are losing sales every day. Here's a great example of a website that just makes no sense. It looks beautiful, but my designer laid out a website, and we didn't want to make fun of a real company, so we kind of made up a fake company here, but I guarantee you, I've looked at 1,000 websites that are just this bad. Look at the header. It says, your journey starts here. What does that mean? Your journey starts here doesn't actually mean anything. And then there's just some adjectives: artisan, innovative, solutions. You're not telling me what problem you solve. You're not telling me what you offer. You're not telling me how it can make my life better. And you're definitely not telling me what I need to do to buy it. In fact, you just say learn more and get started. Neither of those are very strong calls to action. And then the top right real estate of the website, which is your dominant real estate, that's where you want to ask for the sale. Buy now, schedule an appointment, talk to a representative. We've got the words here, why start? Well, why start indeed? We can do a lot better than that. Let's go through 5 things that I think should be on every website. Some of these websites are actually StoryBrand alumni. They've come to our live marketing workshop and overhauled their marketing, and it's done incredibly well. This is David Molnar. He's a photographer, and he has some courses to help you become a better photographer, but look what his website says on the header. Become the photographer everyone is jealous of. That he tells you what he offers. He offers you becoming a better photographer. And then he says, what's in it for you? How will your life be better? Everybody's going to be jealous of you. Who doesn't want that? And then he keeps going. Join over 10,000 students who are becoming great photographers. It's very clear from his website that he offers help becoming a great photographer. It passes the grunt test. I know that I need to click start here to get going. So think about your header above the fold. Is it simple? Is the image on your website communicating something about your product or some sort of offer? Is the language easy to read and easy to understand? Or are you getting cute and clever? I want to tell you something. Cute and clever don't sell products. Clarity sells products. Pass the grunt test. What do you offer? How will it make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? The second thing you need on your website is a strong call to action. A lot of companies, amazingly, they aren't asking their customers to buy something. I mean, they have language like learn more and get started and things like that. You really want to be strong. You want to give people something to accept or reject. And this should be positioned on your website definitely in the top right, as I talked about just a second ago. That's the dominant real estate on your website. The eye moves in a Z pattern from left side to right side, back across the middle, and then across the bottom. So it bounces off that top right. There needs to be one obvious button to press. And when I say obvious, I mean it needs to be larger, it needs to be a different color, and I would say put it in the top right and then repeat it in the middle of the header. This is the best coffee you've ever made is what they're offering, and we see the obvious button to press there down in the middle is the subscribe button. We know that's what they want me to do. Don't be passive aggressive about selling. When you're kind of passive and say things like learn more and get started, and you think you're being polite, right? We think we're not bothering our customers. What's really happening is our customers kind of listening to us going, I don't think these people actually believe in their product. I don't think it will, they think it will solve my problem, right? We want to be very strong, certainly on our website, asking for the sale. The third thing you want on your website is you want some element of failure. And by failure, I really mean, what's it going to cost me to not buy your product? If there's no stakes in the game here, if nothing in my life will be lost if I don't buy your product, I have no reason to buy your product. So you've got to spell out, you know, if you go with the competition, you could be disappointed, you could be charged more, you could get a product that you don't like, or if you don't buy this product at all, you know, you could gain weight, you could be unhealthy. What is going to happen if I don't buy your product? This is one of our alumni, and in this section of the website it just says, doesn't your dog deserve their best life? Have you ever worried about leaving your dog? Have you been searching for a pet care facility you can trust? Do you long to understand your dog better so you can become closer? Did you know that keeping your dog clean and feeding a good diet determines their health for a lifetime? Most dog owners struggle with these same questions. You're not alone, and we're here to help. So they're identifying a problem or some failure that could happen if you don't buy this product. And this is really the magnetism. Some of you have played with rare earth magnets. Those are those really strong magnets, right? And they kind of want to come together like this. When we talk about the potential failure our client is going to experience, or when we talk about the problem that we help them solve, that's the attraction that they have to our brand. And so I love the idea of the headers up top talking about something very positive, and right under the header, there's just a section that says, but your life doesn't look like that now, does it? I mean, it's heading toward failure and things can go really bad. That is what hooks our customers into the story that we are inviting them to as a brand. Fourth, we need to do the opposite. We need to actually identify what their life can look like if they do buy our product. We need to paint elements of success. We need to show them, hey, you can be happy, your roof doesn't have to leak, Your yard can look great. You can feel really healthy. Your business can make more money. All those things will happen if you buy our product. So now we've put stakes in the game. Something bad will happen if you don't buy my product, but something great will happen if you do. That leads people to be very interested in whatever it is that we're selling. We need to have a section on our website spelling out the value and the benefits that you get if you buy our product. And fifth, we need a plan. A plan is just, in the simplest of terms, I get way more into this in the Building a Story Brand book. It can go further, but in the simplest of terms, since we only have a few minutes here on this video, you need to give your customers 3 steps in order to engage your product. Because at this point in the story, think about it. We've piqued their interest to finding something they want up in the header. And then we said, life's going to look bad if we don't move on this. If you don't engage my product, terrible things could happen. But it doesn't have to. Life can be really, really great, right? We've invited them into this story, and they're interested. I mean, we're kind of in a relationship with them at this point, but they're not going to place an order. And the reason they're not going to place an order is because this is the first time in this whole story you're inviting me into that I'm at risk. I mean, I have to put some money down. I have to spend some time. I have to engage, right? That is a big risk. And so they're not going to take that risk unless you make it look really easy to do business with you. And then they go, well, this is awfully easy. So if you say, step 1, we're going to have a session where we analyze your goals. And step 2, I'm going to give you a custom strategy. And step 3, I'm going to help you execute the strategy so that you see results. Well, that makes it seem a lot easier to do business with you. You'd be amazed at the power of breaking down the process of doing business with you in just a few steps. This is Misto Box. They mail coffee right to your door, and the first thing they do is select the coffee, then the coffee is roasted, and then they ship the coffee to you. Now, probably if you sat and spent a minute thinking about coffee delivered to your door, you would know, well, of course that's what they do. But because they spell it out, they make the process seem very simple and very easy, and it makes more sense. And they will increase engagement with their brand because they spelled it out as a plan. Listen, you're probably wondering how all this fits together. Well, in the next video, I'm actually going to show you a website that we've created. StoryBrand has created a website for a fake company. And I'm going to take you through the entire website and show you every section. And I'm going to explain to you why it works so well to invite your customers into a story. You're going to want to think about your website while you're watching the next video and think about little changes and edits that you can make to your website to make it more powerful and effective. Make sure you stay tuned for video number 3. Hey everybody, welcome back to video 3 of the 5-Minute Marketing Makeover. I'm Donald Miller, CEO of StoryBrand. And in this video, I want to show you an example of a great website. You'll want to watch me go through this website and, of course, think about your own website. Think about edits, changes that you need to make everything sharper and more engaging for your customers. All right, we made up a company called Circuit E-Bikes. I actually bought an e-bike last year. I'm having a blast on it. It's a lot of fun, so I'm into e-bikes right now. So we decided to create a website and try to sell you on e-bikes, only you can't buy these e-bikes because these don't exist. You'll have to go find one of your own. Anyway, in the header, it actually says, be the leader of the pack, right? That's the first thing that you read. And there's a picture of a bicycle. It kind of makes you want to get on a bicycle. The image is important. The image should make people want to use your product. So it should actually explain what the product is or show somebody using the product being happy. The image matters. And then the header offers something. Now, you can offer some sort of value like save money, organize your time, those sorts of things. We offered what's called an aspirational identity. And if you read my book, Building a Story Brand, or come to one of our live workshops, you'll understand the power of an aspirational identity. It's something that somebody wants to become that your brand can deliver. And with us, it was be the leader of the pack. And then we tell them exactly what we're selling. Get on a revolutionary new bike. And then, of course, in the top right, find a dealer, and then it's repeated again in the middle, find a dealer. There's no confusion about what we're offering. We're offering a bike, we're offering an aspirational identity, and there's only one way to get on it, that's find a dealer. Notice in the header of this website, there's almost no clutter. There's not frequently asked questions, contact us, about, pictures of my cat, none of that. Why do you want to give people a bunch of options when really what you want them to do is buy your product? So I think as much of that as possible, you want to move all that clutter down to the junk drawer at the bottom of the website and make the header extremely clear. this delivers, there's no question. Then if I scroll down to the next section, I get into the cost or the negative aspect of what's happening to you because you're not using my products. We started with this vision of who you can be and what life can be like, and we move right into, but it ain't like that now, right? I mean, you're stuck in traffic, and life is too short to sit in traffic. Those of you who are familiar with the StoryBrand framework, you know this is the philosophical problem. Remember that philosophical problem, those 3 levels of problems? We're hitting it right here. Life is too short. Traffic is no fun. Don't be held back. You were designed for more. And again, find a dealer. So it's very important that you are offering to resolve a problem. The only reason anybody's interested in your product is because you resolve a problem. And you have to define that problem so that when people hear it, they go, ooh, man, I hate sitting in traffic. I sit in traffic every day. I probably waste 30 minutes sitting in traffic. And all these bikes are racing by me, and I could get on an e-bike and not even break a sweat and get through traffic. They're starting to imagine their problem resolved, and they can only resolve that problem if they buy your product. So you want to get this is called the cost or failure section if you listen to the last video. You want to get that in there. I like it second. That's subjective. You can put it anywhere you want. But I really like it second because it's the hook that hooks the fish when you talk about your customer's problem. Next, you want to position yourself as the guide. And again, if you've read the Building a StoryBrand book, you know there are 2 ways to position yourself as a guide. The first is you express empathy. You care about your customer's problem, and you state that. I care. I don't want you to have to struggle with this. A guide cares. But then the guide also has authority. They demonstrate competency to solve their customers' problems. And so think about just the 3 sections we've covered on this website so far. We've given them a vision of their future. And then we said, but you don't have that vision right now. You don't have that future right now because you're stuck in traffic. But we are here to help. So I don't enter their story until section 3. Most companies enter their story right at the beginning. They say, we've won all kinds of awards and we're amazing and we've been here since 19. Well, I'm not thinking about you yet. I'm still thinking about me. The only way I'm going to start thinking about you is when you offer me a better life and you offer to resolve my problem. Well, now I'm interested in you. And even when I talk about myself, I basically am still talking about you. I care about you, and I'm competent to deliver a solution to your problem. Let's look at this. It says, we don't just care about bikes, we care about you. It's really that simple. You remember Bill Clinton when he ran for president? I feel your pain, right? He was just saying, look, I care. And it's incredibly important if we want to position ourselves as the guide in the customer's life. It's incredibly important that we empathize with them. And then we actually state why we are competent to deliver a solution to their problem. More than 20,000 happy riders, more than 5 million gallons of gas saved, more than 100,000 commute hours saved, all because people are on our bikes. So basically we're saying, I care about you and I know how to resolve your problem. I care about you and I know how to get you out of this. That's the 1-2 punch that a guide has to deliver in order to position themselves in their customer's story. Well, let's go to the next section. This is where you want to get your products in, and you want to actually say, well, here's how we can resolve your problems. And with this particular fictional company, there are 3 ways that you can get on an e-bike. There are 3 different bikes. For you, this might be the 3 different sections of your company, the 3 different divisions, if you will, or 4 or 5 or 6 different divisions, but all the divisions need to be able to resolve my problem in different ways, right? And so we got bikes for males here, bikes for females, bikes for commuters, bikes for people who want to go mountain biking. The divisions of the company are going to go here. Then we're going to ask for the sale, but we know that when we ask for the sale, people tend to be resistant. And they're resistant because of what I said in the last video. There's a risk here. This is the first time in the process of getting to know you that I'm at risk, I'm vulnerable. I may lose money on this, I may lose time, I may get this bike and not like it and not be able to send it back, whatever. And so really you want to basically visually say on your website, hey, it's not difficult to work with us. You want to put what we call stones in the creek. You know, if I ask you to hike into a creek with me and cross a creek, you're probably going to go, oh, I don't know, that looks deep and wet and cold and there's a waterfall downstream. I'm not going to do it. But if I say, look, we'll hit this rock, then this rock, then this rock, you're much more likely to cross that creek. That's what a plan does. This is the plan section of the website. The plan section gives you stones in the creek to make it much more likely that you will actually cross and engage our product. So how does it work with Circuit e-bikes? 1, get fitted. 2, choose a bike. 3, lead the pack. You won't believe how much more product you'll sell when you just give people 3 steps. Then we actually want to give them a lead generator. A lead generator is something that we can give them in exchange for their email address. And so that's going to be a lead generating PDF, it could be a webinar, it could be a video series. This is actually a lead generator, this course that you're watching. It's something of value that you're giving people in exchange for an email address. And that's really important because email marketing is huge. And if you're not doing email marketing, you should definitely start. If you want to learn more about it, sign up for a StoryBrand Live marketing workshop. We got a whole section of the workshop devoted to helping you create a sales funnel and an email marketing campaign. We'd love to help you do that. But you want to start with a lead generator, something that gets their email address. An email address these days is worth a lot. In fact, I think it's worth between $10 and $15. And what I mean by that is for somebody to give you their email address, they're going to be resistant to do that. It's about the equivalent of letting go of 10 or 15 bucks. But that's actually great news. That means everybody who gives you that email address is a qualified buyer. So if somebody downloads this particular lead generator, 10 ways an e-bike will make and save you money, I know they're a qualified lead to buy an e-bike, and I can email them and keep reminding them that I exist, keep reminding them about how great e-bikes are, and get them to eventually buy an e-bike. So you want a lead generator on your website. And then what I think is the most important part of your website, that's the junk drawer. And the reason I think the junk drawer is so important is this is where everything that you thought was important goes, but it's actually not all that important. Job opportunities, frequently asked questions, contact us. Put contact us at the bottom of your website. Why? Because people will scroll to find contact us, and if you've got it at the top of the website, it's competing with the buy now button. You don't want things to compete with the buy now button. So stick all that stuff that you thought was important in the junk drawer at the bottom of a website. Now, there may be other parts to your website that you go, Dom, we need this section here, we can't. That's great. Stick those in there. These are just some sections of a website that we recommend. You can stick those sections in, but I would say the top 3 or 4 sections that I've highlighted here, make sure those are the top 3 or 4 sections on your website. Slide everything else down below. All that stuff that you've already got, all that text and paragraphs and all that stuff, slide that down below this and make sure as you introduce people to your products, you're slowly on-ramping them and planting seeds in their brain that are eventually going to grow up and make them want to buy your products. Well, hopefully I've got you excited about some of the simple changes that you can make to see a huge result in your marketing. But let me ask you this. Would you be willing to consider overhauling your marketing or making big changes to your marketing in the next 90 days? In the next 90 days, how interested are you in creating a really sharp marketing message that gets results from clients? The reason I ask is I literally think it can only take that long. I mean, it's a short period of time to make minor changes. It's not super expensive. If you want to do that with us through StoryBrand, we would love to help you. There are 4 ways that we help companies clarify their message. The first is an online course, super easy to use, take it at your own pace. The second is our live marketing workshop that takes place here in Nashville. The third is we send a private facilitator to you and your team, and you can just spend a day and a half with your team and one of our facilitators to clarify your company's message. And the fourth is a Train the Trainer program where we train your facilitators, and you can take thousands of your own employees through this process, and everybody will know how to create a clear message. We are here to help. Here's my promise to you: if you learn to clarify your message, you are going to have websites that get results. Your marketing collateral, whether it's internal marketing where you're talking to your team or external where you're talking to clients, it will start to get results. Next, we're going to help you create an elevator pitch that will create sales. If you have thousands of employees, they should all be converted to salespeople. I mean, your janitor all the way up to your CEO, they should be able to have an elevator pitch that spreads word about your company. Next, we're going to help you become a marketing ninja. And what do I mean by marketing ninja? I mean, after going through StoryBrand, you're going to go back to your office and you're going to walk through and people are going to wonder what happened to you. I mean, you've only been gone 48 hours and here you're walking through going, that's a dumb email to send. Why isn't there a good header on this website? We can't say it that way. That's too many bowling balls. We're causing our customers to burn too many calories. They're going to tune out. You are going to be a marketing ninja. I've had professors at universities saying that 48 hours with StoryBrand was better than an MBA. You're going to be completely transformed after attending a StoryBrand workshop. Customers will finally start responding to your brand. You'll stop hearing crickets in the marketplace, and you'll start hearing people say, can I have your business card? Can we get together? They'll start clicking the buy now button on.
Okay, enough of the sales pitch. Any reactions?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised that he was, and I understand what he's saying, and to a large degree, I was kind of surprised about the, I guess, the dismissal or discounting of telling why you do something, your story. But I kind of rationalizing it, I guess, if under his terms, the survive and thrive. One of those things is if you're buying from somebody with a compelling story, then that provides you with status that you're supporting and consuming and possess products that are made by somebody that you value, or they're the way they do something like organic or grass-fed. To be able to say that that's what you're consuming confers some status to you, as opposed to the folks who are eating the double Whopper.
Yeah, I think it's somewhat of a process. I think that some brands are really about doing good, donating to charity, buy one get one for your food bank, all that kind of stuff. Those really are tertiary if you really think about it, because the person has to want what it is you're selling and need what you're selling. And I think the message I get from this guy more than anything else is really boil this down, at least your website, boil it down to, getting the attention of the customers and getting some action, even though you want to communicate that you do good things or you will do good things. I think that's all great, but I like his kind of his, and you can buy the book on Kindle called Story Brand. It's really good. It's a really good resource, I think. You don't have to go to his place for a day or 48 hours, whatever. You can get the gist of it, just by reading the book.
Yeah. And on the meat marketing, there, on the trade journals, there's all this talk about environmental impact, animal welfare, all these issues that a few buyers use to decide whether to try something or not. But occasionally you see some study that reaffirms that for the vast majority, it's flavor, is that they enjoy the product and everything. And if they can afford it, they might try something a little more different, but it really it gets down to basics.
Well, I think there's a division between what I'll call commodity products and special brands or special value add. Some things like meat, for example, I would argue are more along the line of commodity, meaning lots of people buy it. It's a widespread type of thing. Whereas some of these other categories are maybe much narrower, or much smaller target market. And, I think that what we're seeing over time, even with some of these brands that started out, I'm trying to remember the name of the designation, but the B Corps. You might have noticed B Corp was really hot about 10 years ago, where all these companies, including Burt's Bees and others, made this point that they were B corporations and they were providing benefit not just to shareholders, but also what they call stakeholders, which are people in the community and the population as a whole. Well, that whole movement is dramatically downsized because the number of people that drove their purchasing was actually relatively small. And over time, a number of companies have actually dropped the B Corp designation because it didn't really make sense on what they were selling. It depends on your niche. So those are all good points, Jack. Thanks for bringing those up. Ruth, did you want to bring up something? Okay. All right. Well, I saw Ruth with her microphone off, so I'll mute her there. And anyone else want to opine on this this whole idea? All right. Well, I think that if you run this through the lens of your current website, particularly the call to action and what problem you're solving for people, I think it will help. And this isn't a highly technical thing. This is really wordsmithing for the most part. But I really like the idea of sharing with, if you have employees or, this whole idea of sharing your pitch or sharing your elevator pitch where, everyone says the same thing is really helpful in spreading the word of your brand, particularly if you're not that well known. The more people hear something, the more it has a chance to catch their attention. So I do like that. But again, the book is called Story Brands. It is on Amazon. And I'm sure there are other YouTube videos by this guy, but I found this to be right on point and easy to follow, for some of you to, even as an experiment, like with your emails, for example, or your social media posts, start with some of this specificity of what problem you're solving and how that person is better off. So, all right, well, that's it for today. Unless anybody else has anything they want to talk about, I did want to share, in case those of you who are not on, Branson has been asked to be the face of a national CPD brand. And so congratulations to him for that. And, once you figure out what that stuff does, make sure you tell me, Branson, because, everyone in my world is taking it and I don't know what the hell it is, so there's that.
It's basically the good side of cannabinoids. It helps more with health benefits. I have lymphedema and cancer in one of my legs. I stay in pain.
Wow.
And this keeps me going because if you notice my Facebook, I'm always doing something. So
Yeah.
this product helps me not be on painkillers. To give you a little example, to give you a story, I was prescribed by my doctor 90 oxys a month because that's how much pain I was in, and I refused to take it and started looking for alternatives. And this was one of the alternatives. I started first with the CBD drops and CBD oils. Then I started cooking with it, and then I was introduced to the flowers and introduced to the vapes, and then to the chocolates and different things. And basically, for wherever function or wherever I'm at in the day, there's a product that can help me throughout the day. And it even has brought down I went to the doctor, I'm overweight, and I went to the doctor and I have no high blood pressure, no cholesterol problems. The doctor looked at me and said, "You're just overweight, sir." So now I have to figure out a CBD product to help me lose weight. Then I have the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think one is probably being created as we have this class. Would be my guess. But you sure the doctor didn't say to you, "Son, you're stoned"?
No, he didn't. I talked to him and I told him what I was doing, and I told him I didn't need a prescription for the oxys anymore. And
Yeah,
he
that's cool.
he understood, and he said that product was, this was in the beginning stages. Now, it's everywhere. It's in Food Lion, the stores, and everywhere. But basically said in 10 years this is going to be everywhere, and basically it is. So
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Branson, for sharing that, and congratulations on the gig. And anyone else have anything before we adjourn for the day? Okay. We have no class tomorrow. I have a board meeting that I can't get out of, so I have to go, even though I would much rather not. But that's so we'll connect again on Monday. of next week. All right. So take care, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
You too.